Feels like it's just
And there are not many with Nadia with a J in there too.
That's true. Very true.
So it's very nice. We've got now a couple of Ilonas I know and a couple of Nadias, and yeah, we'll have a couple of Yoops and a couple of others as well, I guess, within time. But it's very nice. So my thoughts, I think Sylvia, because you've been seeing some of the mails today. Last night, I live here in Zurich, for those that don't know, in Switzerland. And last night there was a presentation from a Spanish lady who's an expert on complementary currencies, and a very long academic but interesting book she's read. And I'm not sure if anybody here, I invited a few people here from that meeting. Don't think there is anybody here from there. But I kind of challenged her, because very often these people who love complementary currencies and are kind of academic have brilliant ideas, but have difficulty landing them and realizing them. And I've spent a lot of my time in the past with monetary reformers, with great ideas who haven't landed them. And the thing that's always been missing is actually a reluctance to do the inner work, and inner work in terms of their relationship to money. So, if I see somebody from Goldman Sachs, a finance expert, or from large financial companies who don't do the inner financial work, it seems coherent to me. But to people who want to change the monetary world and don't do the inner work, I guess I'm not quite triggered, but I get quite frustrated by seeing that I love their ideas, but I don't think they've got really a great chance of realizing them. And when I mention, that the inner work and the relationship to money is really a foundation for this, I tend to get pushed aside or pushed back or ignored. So I've been having some, as Sylvia has noticed, I've had some exchanges on that today, and I raised that maybe as the subject which is with me right at this moment. I've been spending some of my energy today to try and bring this a little bit closer to this world, because I do believe in the fact, in these currencies, in the future of many different kinds of currencies being the direction we're heading in, and eventually something better in terms of design, let's say, and effectiveness than the present financial system and designs we have at the moment in terms of the large central bank systems. So maybe I just leave it there as a theme, and it's not necessarily the theme that everybody needs to follow here today, but it's what's been affecting me today, or working through me.
Thank you, Peter, for sharing. I think I can resonate with that a lot. And I'm curious also to hear in the audience if you're resonating on this thought of Peter. And maybe you brought some questions or some curiosities here today. And I would immediately like to invite you to bring them in. And maybe we start with a very, very little check-in round via the chat, and to hear how are you here, how are you feeling in the moment, and how are you feeling in terms of the topic that Peter raised right now. Maybe you want to give a little note in the chat. So we
great to see that Nadia number 1 or number 2 is here too.
Yes,
there she is. Hi, Nadia.
just came in from the airport, so freshly off the press. Good to be here with you all.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Thanks for joining, Nadia. Would you like to share very shortly where you're coming from, just to have an idea where you're on?
I was in Geneva and visiting some friends. And, one of the things that was really interesting was walking through the Geneva airport. Every advertisement is either for private family wealth management or watches. So it was just a slightly bizarre experience walking through that coming from Berlin. So I was very much in the presence of money, I feel, in these past few days.
Oh, wow. So
And
welcome.
yeah, and just to say, in the presence of money, I had the privilege and pleasure of being with Sylvia in her mini masterclass. Let's translate that in English. And some of you may know that in our work with money seminars, etc., we ask people to bring a meaningful amount of money with which we do exercises. Well, I have never seen so much money brought to a seminar before. I think there were 56,000 euros on the floor.
Yes, more than 56,000 euros.
Right.
And part of it was from one woman who brought her whole heritage with her in a basket, in a pocket. A huge amount of 100 euro notes. I've never seen so many euro notes with that. And we put them on the floor and we're dancing on them.
So if
Amazing.
any of you have not yet attended any of these seminars, I imagine many or most of you have, this is your invitation.
Yes, I would like to emphasize on that. There's a lot of wonderful practitioners offering these kind of programs. Also Nadia with the See Your Money course and so on. So please welcome. Yeah, thank you, Peter, for mentioning that. Yes, I'm coming back to the little check-in round. So please feel free to write something into the chat. How are you? Did you bring a question or a curiosity, or is there anything you would like to know about around money and source, and ask Peter? Also connecting with the entry statement Peter mentioned. So the reluctance to inner work of important decision makers, actually, right?
Well, I see that Joop already has his first question on that. Where does this reluctance come from? Why this reluctance? My quick answer on this is that what I see is that there's a fascination with the brilliance that many of these people have with their ideas of their new system. And there's a sort of, arrogance is the wrong word, but an indignation against the present system and belief that their system is so much better, and such strong fascination with that they don't feel the need, I think, to look at themselves and their own relation. They think that just promoting something which is so much better will do the job. And I was taken in at one point, I mean, this is now almost 30 years ago, when I believed, I was touched and impressed with the brilliance and their systems. And I thought that they would make it. So I spent quite a lot of time with them until I suddenly saw, actually, their systems are not landing. They're not going anywhere, because just simply promoting them and showing how they're better than the present system, sort of mentally and intellectually, is not sufficient to create them really landing and changing anything. And I think, that's my surface explanation anyway. And those, what I got to see is those who are managing these systems and founding these systems, who are willing to do the inner work, they're the ones that last. And the ones that don't do the inner work tend to get appropriated by the main system, even if they were invented not to be with the main system. And and very often the people managing them then burn out. Very often also because they become dependent on the main system. They're created as objections to the main system, as alternatives to the main system, but then they need the money from the main system to run them. And they don't see the contradiction in this. They don't love, let me put it another way, they don't love the money from the main system, although they're using it, of course, you know, for online videos, online meetings like this, etc., etc., etc. There's no gratitude for the existing system. There's just a kind of rebelliousness against it. That doesn't work.
Oops. Sorry.
I muted them.
Yes. Job, does this answer your question? Would you like to add something to what Peter said? Thank you, Peter, for picking up Job's question.
Well, it does answer my question, and at the same time, I guess this is why the question emerged, was that it sounds like these systems are becoming more and more of a dead-end street. And you're working with very intelligent people, Peter, as you mentioned before, and I'm kind of puzzled, still puzzled why. I mean, I understand the logic, but what is the fear? What is really the reluctance to reflect upon oneself's behavior? And I know it's not. I was just curious. I'm curious, and Sylvia, it answers my question partially. It has it gives a heading, and I'm still intrigued why this then happens.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can really add anything to what I've said in terms of knowing why do people not want to look at their own self-development. I mean, we tend to be in a group here where we are probably all doing more or less inner work. But of course, there are many people who don't feel it's necessary or don't want to look and feel that the solutions to their circumstances are all in the outer work, are in the outer world, and very often dependent on other people changing rather than themselves. And in this case, the outer world is a system and the people running this system, and particularly, you know, related to this particular theme, it's the bankers. You know, it's the bankers creating money, which are basically the problem. And I don't, if I hold that strongly, I don't need to look at myself. I just need to look, well, how can I get, you know, these bankers to create another system or undo the system with which they're working or whatever. So to give credit to the lady who was presenting yesterday, she wasn't totally in that direction, or not overtly, but I would say underneath, you know, less overtly, there was some elements there which were pushing in that direction. The first thing she did was to present how, you know, the bankers are creating 90%, 97% of the money we use, which may or may not, that figure is popularly spouted. Whether there's any verification of it anywhere, I really don't know. But anyway, I think that's sufficient.
Thank you, Peter. And Nadia, please, you will have some additions to what was said already.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one observation that I find quite curious, because to be honest, anybody I've ever met who deems themselves an expert in money, whether they are in monetary reforms, whether they are in banking, or whether they happen to have a lot of money that they seem to be investing quite successfully, all of them feel they don't need to do money work. So there's some shared delusion around just the mere fact that I'm dealing with money and I'm looking at money means that somehow there is nothing for me to do in that area. And I find that rather curious, overall. So I think it's not just the people who work in monetary reforms, it's really anybody who has a close relationship with money. I've never met anybody who said, this is so fascinating, I should really be doing more money work here. There's clearly something to do for me, or more inner work. So just to add that to Peter, what you were just sharing.
Thank you, Nadia. Annalisa, would you like to add also something, or do you have a separate question?
No, yes, I would like to add something, because 15 years ago I designed by myself a complementary currency, and I worked with two currencies, Chiemgauer and the Ampertaler, same structure for the Dachauer town city. And I made a study about communal currencies to help towns to prosper. And that in that study, I tried to find out why some currencies work and why others don't. Most don't work. And those who do work, it's still a lot of work for unpaid work, mostly. And I found that it seems to be very important if the currency serves another project. That was the idea of Lieta too. So if you have a project where the money serves, where it supports the work, then there is a chance that it could last. But most of the groups want to have a better money, better than the system money, and there is nothing teasing the people. You can do it, but you do not have to, so you don't serve anything, just an idea and a theory of a better money. That's not interesting enough, I guess.
Yeah, thank you for that input. That's an interesting input. My experience of those that work and those that lose are more to do with with actually my source work, and who has founded it and the field they create, and then who manages it, how they manage it. Because if you don't change the relationship to money, what happens is that you just replicate in the new system what is there in the old system. So you will have, I'm sure you've had that experience, some people hoarding the new currencies and other people going badly into debt with the new currencies, and then there's still no flow. So you haven't really changed anything unless you change the relationship. And the ones that have lasted longest, in my experience, are those where you've had somebody who's managed this with greater consciousness and managing the relationships within the system, so that there is flow going on. And then, of course, with the management, maybe helping to change the relationships. So that's what I would put more as or at least as the bottom line of these systems. And of course, there are many different kinds of systems, as there always have been and always will be. And I still, I'm still a strong advocate for them, but along with with this doing the inner work, of course, continually. And that's what I'd like to see. That's what I would very much like to see, particularly now, of course, with the new technologies, with crypto monies, etc. We're hardly at the start, actually, of these new systems. And if you look at many of them today, they are failing for the same reasons as the old complementary currencies. And many of them are including Bitcoin, are being appropriated by the existing system. You know, Donald Trump is now using Bitcoin. I mean, so the original, if you look at what the original intention of Bitcoin was, it certainly was not that Donald Trump should be using it in the way that he's using it. So unless you have that kind of consciousness, it's not going to be creating the new, let's call it restorative, regenerative money for a regenerative world, which is generally the idea of the people that are forming them. And, you know, I don't want to be too critic. I've said in my mails, if anybody that's interested in it, the person to look to who has created very successful systems in Africa, in Kenya, and is one, for me, the leading light at the moment on this is a man by the name of Will Ruddick, Ruddick. And I believe that he has an advanced kind of meta overview of the whole economic system and where these systems are actually playing. And he's playing a very helpful role at the moment. So that would be my final mention on this. If we come to the end of this theme and there are any other questions, of course.
Thank you, Peter. Actually, I brought a question and then I will hand over to Millie. But I think my question is connecting to what you said now, because the digital euro is coming. And do you see that differently than the development with crypto coins and bitcoins, or what is your feeling around the digital euro?
I think the governments and central banks creating their own digital currency is an attempt to counter the, let's say, distributive efforts of people who are forming other digital currencies. In other words, it's an attempt to, it's kind of a last stand of the existing system to have these central bank currencies. And once again, I'm just looking at it this way. I'm not even criticizing it, because I think, you know, the point I always make is that we're all, if you have a bank account, and I took my courage in my hands yesterday in this meeting and said, look, I've got a bank account and I'm not against the big system. And everybody has a bank account and we're all implicated in this. And the question is our relationship with this whole larger system. And I take the view that we're all using it, and we should have gratitude for what it's still providing for us, even if it's a fear-based system, because none of us are ready yet to let it collapse, or we would let it collapse for something better. So until we do, the basis, I see this as the existing system as a kind of springboard to new systems when we're ready, and we're far from being ready right now. So this central bank digital currency is the next step in the development of our system.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a change of paradigm yet, in my view. Mm-hmm. But each development is a movement maybe in the direction. And I think as we become more consciousness, I say that, you know, these new systems are a function of our developing consciousness, which we help with the inner work that we're doing. And when we are finally ripe, that we are ready to let the existing system go collectively, then we will. But we won't do that before we feel safe enough to do that. And, you know, we'll be transforming it eventually with the system, not of fear, but of love. And that's what we are I believe we're doing with our inner work and your 56,000 euros, we're doing practice of transferring money with love with existing euros at the moment in a small way. And I believe that we're helping to create that movement in that way, to see that ultimately the caring that we share with each other and the social aspects and the responsibility are not a question of the structure of the money. It's the way we're dealing with our resources, including money, and the care that we share with each other. So that ultimately money is not about money. It's about us.
Yes.
And that's what we're using the relationship with money for, to practice about that. Whether it's
Thank
digital,
you,
yeah, or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Peter. I would like to pick up a question from Millie. And Millie, would you like to unmute yourself and ask it in the audience? You wrote it in the chat, and you're asking Peter that in one of his interviews he talks about the idea to increase the quotation for unemployed people, and you would like to know what Peter meant with that.
Yeah, please, Millie, explain. Tell me what I said.
Yes, my English is a little bit funny. That's why I prefer to write. Yeah, I hear you talk about the idea in Switzerland to increase the quotation for unemployed people, and yeah, I'm curious what you mean about that. What's your idea, your vision?
Okay, this was an article I wrote almost 20 years ago, which you must have found somewhere.
Yes.
What I was saying, that I was suggesting that unemployment should go up to 33%. And the idea was at the time of having a basic income scheme, that people, what I was really arguing is that many people are employed in things that they don't like to do and in destructive work. And if you look at people employed in the armament industry, which at the moment is in full flight, and the amount of money being invested in armaments, you could say that we're paying an enormous amount of people, enormous amount of money for doing destructive work. So and I believe that the people in these kind of employments, but also doing what is called slave labor in ordinary factories, which they don't like doing, would be better off not being in doing these jobs, being paid anyway by the government. This was the original idea of basic income, given an amount of regular money, and to have the time to take off, to look and see what they'd love doing, which would be constructive. So that was the idea. And this was, in 1997, I think I wrote this article, long before these ideas were really popular for a basic income scheme. Yeah. And funnily enough, these articles were published in a couple of newspapers here in Switzerland, major newspapers. And funnily enough, one of the major person against it was the leader of one of the major unions. It was really weird. I didn't understand it at all, but weird things happen.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Millie. Thank you, Peter. Jennifer, would you like to bring in your question yourself?
Sure. I was just wondering, talking about unemployment, could it be that AI would be a reason that unemployment may rise or skyrocket? Because that's what we've been hearing from so many experts. And that could also maybe be like a kind of catalyst for change. What's your opinion on that?
Well, I wouldn't claim to be an expert on this at all, but I can follow the logic of it all, and particularly that it's going into unemployment of so-called white-collar jobs now. So there's so much that we can do with AI, where when I go back in my history, when I was young, I needed a secretary to type, and secretaries have gone out of fashion now, long time ago, and AI is just accelerating this whole process of unemployment at that level, I think. So yes, I don't know. I mean, I'm wondering, I don't know, maybe you more expert than I, but I'm wondering if AI will even replace software developers, for example. Maybe somebody has an answer on that in the room.
I read an article about that, and it's true that exactly the software experts are the ones who are going to be losing their jobs before we do, probably.
Right. So yeah, I think AI is having, I don't claim, as I say, to be any kind of expert, but I can sense and hear and read the major impact this is having on us. Yeah.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Maybe there's someone else who'd be more of an expert in the room on this subject.
Maybe Nadia?
Well, I wouldn't call myself an expert by a long stretch, but I have been reading quite a bit about it in recent months. And I think one of the things, and maybe Peter, that will push us faster towards the point of potential transformation, because I think it's pushing us towards a point, right? And whether that point is a point of collapse or a point of transformation remains to be seen. But in one particular article that I read, one of the repercussions of the mass layoff that we are going to face in the next 5 to 10 years was also saying, those are all the people that will not pay tax anymore, because if you don't have income, you don't pay tax. If a state doesn't generate taxes, then who's going to pay for all the infrastructure that we have become so used to? And whether that is a doomsday scenario or not, I thought it was quite an interesting perspective to say all of this is connected, right? And if we pull out the rug underneath a great number of people from a socioeconomic perspective, then who's going to bear the brunt of that? And how long can our current economies buffer that with the social systems we have in place? And I don't know what the current state of Switzerland is. It's arguably a bit more stable than Germany, but that will create a ripple effect. And I think we're just only now beginning to wake up to the fact that this will have massive repercussions, that it maybe does need a reinvention of how we run things.
And that is, thank you, Nadia, and that is exactly where the complementary systems will potentially have a role, locally, regionally, and possibly globally. But that's exactly where they could come and fit in for people who are no longer in a conventional employment with a conventional salary, but have needs and can serve each other with their mutual needs and have mutual exchange systems.
Yeah, thank you both. I'm opening again the room for the audience. Are there any further questions, further topics you would like to bring in? I saw Jeremy, I saw you in the chat. Please, welcome to your first Ask Me Anything meeting.
Hello, thank you. I will try. Do you hear me? Yes.
Yes.
It works. I will try my first and speak in English. It's a long time for me, but maybe I can find my words. I'm actually involved in eco-village network, French eco-village network, and I'm wondering how can all this work, because I am actually with Ilona in what's the name, in the
Masterclass?
in the masterclass. I'm with them, and I wonder how we can use that to help this network, because it's like proposal for a new word, for another way to interact with each other and nature and everything. And I feel that those places, those initiatives are a good, are full of people quite ready or already working on them, and that maybe it's a good pot to make that flourish. But I'm not sure we manage to bring this, and to bring what this vision of I'm source, and what is source, and how we can go together and construct a new world. Despite I'm not sure of the word. In the same time that we are quite angry with the system and trying to create something else. I can feel that you will answer that it's just working out that on those polarities, but maybe you have other insights.
Well, thank you. I'm not sure. I think I get the question, which you haven't quite proposed a precise question, but I think I get the theme. So it's a bit, if I'm talking too quickly in English, please say, Jérôme.
No, thank you. You can go. It's more
Yes.
my expression.
Okay.
It's...
So it's a little bit like I was saying before. My experience with change processes is that in order to get from A to B, you have to start at A. And I see so many people starting at C and trying to get to B and not starting from where they are, in other words. So in other words, it requires a total acceptance of the situation you're in, and then moving from there to, with your vision, to create something in addition or something new. Now, if you're trying to create from an objection to something, it doesn't work. In other words, if you're resisting something and think you can change it because you don't like it, which is very often the attempt, that actually doesn't work. So the real challenge then is to come first of all to acceptance, which is why I try to refer to the existing financial and monetary system and everything associated with it as like a springboard rather than anything else. To see that we have the opportunity to use everything that it offers and look at all the things that it's offering, and having gratitude for all the things that it's offering. From there, we can work out our vision to maybe improve something or create improvement. But if we're coming from a place overtly or in our bodies somewhere, which says, you know, I know better and I want to do something because I don't really like what's going on here, we're not going to be successful. And I see, you know, many people in eco villages are there like fugitives. I've been involved with with eco villages in France as well, and I remember coming 2 years ago to a farming community. You know, what looked like would be a farming community, agricultural community in the middle of nowhere in France, who were interested in doing our money and source work. When I arrived there, I didn't see, there was one farmer, only one person in agriculture, and all the rest were urban fugitives trying to heal themselves and get away from this nasty system. And I saw, you know, this eco village has enormous problems because it's, you know, coming from that perspective, they're going to not be able to really create what they think they are creating just because they've moved there in the middle of nowhere. So so that would be my sort of response to this. And I know this is a problem in many of these kind of eco villages. And maybe Sylvia, you got something to say, because you're not living in a kind of eco village, but in a eco community. So you have a lot of experience here.
Yeah, I mean, we yes, a lot. I can confirm what you say, Peter. Actually, we are in the eco villages I'm also accompanying, or where I'm living here. We do have money issues, and we are a huge conscious tribe on one side. And in terms of money, it becomes difficult. So there's still a lot to do. And especially in the eco-village part, my experience is that in communities, the source principles are not accepted right away, because it's like we founded this eco-village, for instance, and we had a beautiful process here in our eco-village where we said, okay, we need to clarify the source question, and that was so helpful. And I see it also in other eco-villages that when they are ripe to have a look at that, and actually people come together to learn from each other. So I think those are very beautiful ecosystems, I would say, where you need to wait for the right moment to bring this in, when you feel that people are ready for it. But you cannot force it. That's my experience, actually. And I do money work with a lot of other eco-villages, and here in Pomali, in my own eco-village, it's the most difficult field to do that, because I'm part of it. Yeah.
Does that answer a little bit your question, Jérôme?
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's still a lot of work to do, and I feel also that many people are like traumatized. And first of all, it's maybe using your word, but I'm not sure which word, but it's to welcome this state of being because of the system, because of, I don't know, families and history, because there's also a war before us, and we are still on those inner work, and maybe but there's many like eco villages funded, and let's go together and do things, because it's, I think, lots of doing things more like reflecting on thing, and maybe propose alternatives. No, it's create alternatives. That's the point. I think I try to share. What are you creating? Something really unique. What is your inner vision for this future world? I will try to continue with your answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and good luck with what you're doing.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeremy. Suhair, would you please unmute yourself? Welcome.
Hi, this is my first session. Ask anything, Peter.
Yeah, but great to see you. It's been a long time.
Same here. Very long time. Maybe last time 2001 or 2.
Whoa.
2021.
21, yeah.
21. When we were together in training, yes. And I'm here actually because I miss the work. I need to live it more, embody more the work. I've been listening now in this session, and I'm feeling a lot in my heart. There's lots of stirring and movement, actually, with all what I'm hearing right now and feeling. You asked the question, of the reluctance to inner work. And for me, it's just what's present in me is humanity being stuck on accepting what it is, the way it is, without trying to change it. Being stuck at that point. Like it's too, I think, facing that and accepting that, coming from a place of entitlement as well, to be able to actually perceive such pain of accepting what it is, the way it is. I think that is also the underdeveloped space humanity is actually in right now, living an illusion, or was living an illusion of what reality is about, never actually experienced it, never experienced being a human, the humility of a human, experiencing that. So that puts a really hard, I think, point to face such fear, to face such fear of what it is. There's no safety here. Because I heard Nadia saying either collapse or transformation. All what humanity can see, if they face what it is, it's a collapse. They're not equipped to handle being with. And
so how are you doing where you are with this? I forget where you are right now. Where?
I was in Abu Dhabi in
Yeah.
the United Arab. I just moved recently, the past 2 years now, in Vancouver, Canada.
Ah.
So I made a very big move.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was living in the UAE for 21 years, originally back from Jordan. So this is where I come from. So what I feel, and this is all my perception, of course, and my feelings, my personal feelings and experience, is the lack of the safety net, or the holding, for humanity to go onto such kind of, I would say, transformation. The ground is not solid to enable or to allow this to happen. It's shaky. It's very shaky. And this is what I'm feeling right now.
Right. And how is it to feel that? Are you to say to yourself, I am feeling unsafe?
Can you ask the question again?
Yeah. How is it? What happens with you? You know the reclamation process a little bit. How is it to say I am unsafe, or I'm feeling unsafe?
Actually, I'm feeling scared.
Okay.
More than unsafe. It's scared. It's panicky. It's almost like being blacked out. Like the mind cannot even perceive
Right.
the staying in the situation.
So can you give yourself permission to be in that situation?
Yeah, I'm taking a deep breath now, just by saying, when you said that. It's just all what I'm able to think about is the pulsing in my heart center. Is just all my attention is in my heart right now.
Yeah.
Like as if I cannot be outside. I'm just so wanting to contain the extreme kind of, what do you call it? Panic in my heart that I'm feeling.
Right. So can you give yourself permission to feel the panic in your heart? And keep breathing. And we'll all do that. We'll all be with you. I feel the panic in my heart, and it's okay. Keep breathing with it. It's incredibly unsafe and fearful. And it's okay. Where are you feeling it right now?
Heart.
Still in your heart. Do you want to express that in some way with a scream or a shout or something? Or
Yeah, I think there's definitely, I feel a trapped scream inside of me.
yeah. So
it cannot come out. It cannot come out right now. I know that. It will not come out right now.
Are you sure?
I am. I'm not in a space where I can do that. No,
Oh,
not this space. Not the space here. Here is safe. The space outside.
I see. You mean you're in
Yeah.
an office or something like that? And if
I
you
can't do
scream,
that, yes. No. People will
okay.
open the door.
So
Yeah.
you can save it
Yeah.
for later.
Yes, I'm aware of it, but also it's also never been experienced too consciously.
To scream like that. Yeah.
In
So
a conscious way.
yeah, well, I'd really advocate that. I'd really find a good place for it and just let go.
Yeah.
Be wonderful.
It's here. It's very here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that so far. Let's just go into the, let's just complete. You can save that for later.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you will have a great time with that. But
I'm already feeling that. I'm already feeling a release before even it happens.
Yeah. Let's go into the opposite. What's the opposite of the panic in your heart, the unsafe, and the fear? What's the opposite?
Safety.
Yeah.
Reassurance.
Mm-hmm.
Care.
So,
love.
okay, we'll just let's stay with I feel safe.
Yeah.
So how would you know when you feel safe? How would you be able to judge? What?
I'm light. I'm light.
You're light.
I'm light
Okay.
and joyful.
Okay. So the phrase now, try saying, I'm safe whether I'm light and joyful or not.
And it's not coming out because I feel heavy. That's why the word light cannot.
That's right.
Yeah,
so you're safe whether you're light or heavy.
I'm safe whether I'm light or heavy. Or heavy, you see? I can't even say it. I'm safe whether I'm light or happy. No,
Heavy.
am I saying it right? Heavy. You see, I can't even think it. It's not even okay.
The word heavy.
So I'm safe whether I'm light or
Heavy.
Yeah. Okay. Now I can hear you. You see, I was completely blocked, completely blacked out. I think that fear was blocking me completely blacked out. Safe, whether I'm light or heavy.
What's going on now?
I'm just dizzy. Yeah. Not safe, whether I'm light or heavy.
Okay. So we'll just come back now to I'm blacked out. Try this. I'm blacked out.
I'm blacked out.
And it's cool.
I'm blacked out and dizzy.
And it's cool. Yeah.
And it's cool. I'm blacked out and dizzy.
And it's cool.
And it's cool. Blacked out and dizzy, and it's cool.
It's a great way of getting out of your head.
Yeah, I feel like as if I'm on top of a height. I received a height and I can't receive even the oxygen. It's hard to breathe. Yeah, I feel lightness in my head right now.
Right. Nadia, any impulse from you? You just check in with Nadia. Very good.
Hang on with me.
Hi, Sohair.
Hello.
Good to see you. I'm wondering if there is still something we could do with your body, even if you can't really scream right now. Could you stand up?
It's not going to be easy for me to be able to
It doesn't
scream
matter
now.
if we can't see you. We can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, stand up and
I'll carry this. Put
okay.
it here.
Okay. And really feel your feet and start bouncing a little bit. And just follow me. Leave your eyes open so that you don't lose balance. You don't have to hold your laptop. It doesn't matter if we see you properly, okay? We don't want to give your laptop a concussion, so okay. So exactly, great. So as long as I see you bouncing, I'm in the picture. Great. Okay, so say the first sentence again that Peter gave you, or that you gave yourself.
I'm safe, whether light or heavy.
The first one was something about unsafety, right?
Yeah, I'm safe, whether
Panic in
light
my
or
heart.
heavy.
Peter, can you repeat the sentence for Sohair?
I have panic in my heart, something like that. I'm feeling unsafe and have panic in my heart.
Okay, just say that, Sohair. I'm unsafe and I have panic in my heart.
I'm unsafe. I'm panic in my heart.
And it's okay because it might be the most sane reaction anyone could have.
It's okay because it can be the most sane situation anyone can have.
Okay. Breathe into your heart. Okay, and sit down for a moment. How are you feeling right now? What is shifting? What is being the same?
I noticed how my knees were shaking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was
What do you
also
know?
shaking in my hands.
Your hands? Okay, let's do a little bit shaking with your faster. And anybody who has panic in their heart, because I can certainly relate, just go along with Soher. See, Soher, you're inspiring a whole movement of panicked people. Okay, say that again. I'm feeling unsafe and I have panic in my heart.
I feel unsafe and panic in my heart.
And it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, because it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Okay, breathe, look at me. Look at all the, if you can see up there, all the people who are feeling unsafe and panic in their heart with you. Okay, drop your hands for a moment. Feel your hands, feel your heart. And stay in connection. Yeah, don't go away. Okay, what do you notice now?
Lightness in my head. And
Lightness in your head.
yeah, and yeah, lightness, and yeah, it feels dizzy, but it's
Yeah. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay, you
Yeah,
look a
it
bit
feels
more
like
connected.
I'm high on on something. This is how it feels like.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the other side again? I'm safe.
Whether I'm light or
or
heavy.
heavy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm safe whether I'm light or heavy or lightheaded or not.
Yeah, I'm safe whether I'm lightheaded or not.
Mm.
Whether I'm shaky or not. I'm
Yeah.
safe whether
Yeah.
I'm lightheaded or not. And
Yeah.
shaky or not. Yeah.
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 You know, I sometimes, so I tell this story when people are looking for safety, instability, and balance. And I have a very good friend who trains with a slack line. And they once told me that the only way to stay on a slack line is to agree to losing balance constantly. Yeah, there is no static balance. It doesn't exist.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Does that resonate?
Yeah, definitely. For me, safety equaled fixed balance.
Yeah.
Balance.
And there is no fixed safety.
Yeah, this is what's the new now. What I'm experiencing right now. The balance in the unbalance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Peter, anything else before we dial out? Sylvia, anything else? Let's get you on here.
I'm touched from the process right now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for bringing this in for all of us.
Yeah.
Yes, sure. Thank you.
Yeah, because I really just want you to notice that you channeled something that I think a lot of people in this space feel very strongly, and for you to be the spokesperson for our inner panic bunny is, you know, the one that is shaking is really wonderful. Mhm.
And what Peter said, don't forget to breathe.
Yeah.
The breathe, we always have our breathe with us, so that really helps in to embody the sentences.
And allow yourself to black out on occasion. There's no problem with that at all.
Yeah.
It can be very helpful.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna unpin all of us here. Thank you so much, Soher, and I'm handing over to you, Sylvia.
Yeah, thank you, Nadia. So good to have you here with us. Surprisingly, actually, for me. What a beautiful surprise. Yeah, we are over time already. So we have 2 questions. We couldn't really dive into them from Millie and Jennifer. But please just come back. The next AMA session will follow on the 1st of July. Again, here in the ConsciousU room. So please feel welcome to join us again. And yeah, thank you for coming today. And let's make the little ritual I love from you, Nadia. On one side, unmute your microphone and maybe put your hands like this, and we can tickle our fingertips all together.
Take care, everybody.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everybody,
Bye
for
now.
coming.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care. See you.
Bye-bye.
See you again.
Bye bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.